everybody. Welcome to the RS Technical Solutions Center. I'm Mark Russell. I'm the Technical Application Solutions Manager here inside the Solutions Center. I am joined today by
Diane Davis, Director of Product Management for Connectivity at Red Lion Controls.
Perfect. And today we're talking about the NT5000 family of switches. So what is the NT5000 family? What is that switch?
The NT5000 is a managed switch. It's a layer 2 device. It has gigabit capability, and it's available in port configurations from 6 to 18 ports.
Perfect. All right, so you said it was a managed switch. What does that word mean? What does managed?
Well, managed means that you have the ability to go in and configure things, speed, port access, security, those kind of parameters. Where an unmanaged switch doesn't usually, it's not configurable.
Okay, interesting. So if you look at the documentation, it calls it a layer 2 managed switch. What is layer 2? What does that mean?
So layer 2 indicates a couple of things. It usually implies that it doesn't do routing. It should be within a firewall. It also is the transmission of the packets is at the MAC address level, not at IP level. So a layer 3 switch would be transmitting packets based on the IP addresses.
Okay, interesting. All right, so it's just internal routing inside of one network, right?
That's right. It's within a network domain. Yep.
Interesting. Okay, cool. So this is part of the N-Tron family of products that is owned by Red Lion Controls. What's the backstory there? Where did N-Tron come from? What is it? Why is that the network connectivity switches?
It's so N-Tron was a company founded in the early 2000s. The owner focused on only producing managed devices.
Okay.
So that became their expertise, and they really focused on making products easy to use. When in the industrial marketplace, people weren't used to using Ethernet devices, so they designed things to have some ease of use capability right out of the box. It has features like auto IGMP, has in-view monitoring capability that really made it easier for people whose expertise is not networking itself, manufacturing, production, things like that.
So the NT5000 is a new product. N-Tron has been around since the early 2000s, so 20-ish years now. Mm-hmm. Why did we develop the NT5000? Why is that the product? Why this product now?
Well, several reasons. Some of our products are getting a little bit older. The components are harder to find. This is the next generation. We moved to more security, gigabit speeds, performance, smaller form factor. So if you look at it, much smaller size than the products that were produced a long time ago. And we wanted the ability to get into managed with the ease of use that N-Tron is known for on its Legacy 500 series, for instance. Okay,
so in the overall architecture of N-Tron's portfolio, they have their NT24K, which is the high-end, big profile, very large switches. Right. Where does this fit in that profile of where we hit?
So it has a finite port count. They're all fixed configurations. NT24K has modular. It is a gigabit form factor. It has many of the security features. It has it does function as an N-ring manager for our proprietary ring, or as an auto member. The NT5000 is an auto member, but it has security features that are, to some degree, there are new additions that are a little bit more robust than the NT24K.
Sure.
But NT24K is still state of the art in terms of having gigabit performance, having N-ring and N-ring manager, having PTP options, et cetera. But you can, because of our modular capability, you can have up to 24 ports in any configuration that you'd like of copper, fast Ethernet fiber, gigabit fiber. So it's still maybe the higher end offering, and this is more of the entry level with a real focus on ease of use features.
Perfect. So that sounds cool. So you said it's this is the NT5000.
Yes.
Are we using this as a replacement product to any legacy? Are we trying to move into anything else out of?
We're really more and more people are moving from the unmanaged with monitoring capability into managed because they see the benefit, especially from a security standpoint, of having layered security. You can implement VLANs to segregate the network, more security features in general in terms of everything is passwords are encrypted, more capability in terms of user credentials and how you can limit access to certain features or devices themselves.
Awesome. So what's the out-of-the-box experience here for a user? Will it start functioning as soon as I put 24 volts to it? Do I need to do anything before it'll start passing traffic? What's that experience
Well,
like?
the first thing we do, I mean, it will power up, but we force a change of the default credentials. So
Okay.
we do that to meet future security standards.
Okay.
It has a default admin username with no password, and we ask that be changed, and then the admin credentials will be purged from the device.
Gotcha.
From
Okay.
there, once it's connected to other devices, it has the capability of passing traffic. It will function. You don't have to go in and configure anything. But it is a very powerful switch in terms of the feature sets, designed to grow as the customer's network grows and their needs increase.
Okay. So as far as like configuring all my ports, lockdowns or speeds or whatever like that, is that all on a web interface? Is that through a command line interface? Can I do that with a config file of some sort? How do I actually set up the configuration that I want?
Yes, yes, and yes.
Perfect. I got all the options. That's the way to do it.
Absolutely. So there is a very nice, intuitive, graphical user interface.
Okay. That's web-based?
It is web-based.
Okay.
There's also a CLI.
Okay.
And anything that you can do in the web interface, you can do in the CLI and vice versa.
Perfect.
Now, there are functionalities that if somebody is more comfortable with shutting down the user graphical web interface,
Okay.
then that can only be enabled, obviously, then from the CLI.
Gotcha.
There
Gotcha.
is a configuration file
Okay.
that can be used in part or in its entirety to send to other devices. So
Okay,
the
so I can
easiest
clone things.
Absolutely. The easiest thing to do is read the config file back from the one you're on and make modifications to it. It is human readable.
Perfect. Right. So this particular device, as far as some of those feature sets go, it will work with the Radius system server.
So it will. It supports IEEE 802.1x and
Okay.
Radius,
Okay.
which means you can get your port authentication or username authentication from a centrally managed Radius server.
Perfect. So I don't necessarily have to I don't have to manage the login on each one individually.
That's
It will
right.
let me do the
That's right.
the
It will.
normal 802.1 services.
Yeah.
All right. So it also does. I assume it does redundancy control. So what redundancy protocols does it support?
Well, a couple things. So this product can, the NT5000 can participate in a N-Ring, which is
Okay.
our proprietary ring,
Yep.
as a member. It's not a manager. You would use a 700, 7000 or NT24K to be the manager.
Okay.
It also supports STP, RSTP, and MSTP for
Okay.
redundancy. And to some degree, you would say that port trunking, or we support N-Tron's proprietary port trunking as well as LACP. If
Okay.
you trunk ports together and one port went down, you still
you
have
go.
other ports
done.
that can send the data. That's
Perfect.
right.
So it just supports the general functions you see inside of a managed switch,
Absolutely.
right? All those are there. There's
Yep.
there's nothing skimped here. This is fully functional
It
managed
is,
switch.
it is a fully functional managed switch. It doesn't have some of the industrial, more advanced protocols, but
Sure.
TCP/IP is still the most common protocol
go.
used.
But it's not. We'd call this a smart switch or a lightly managed
No,
switch. It
it's-
has more features than
Yes,
that.
it is more advanced than that, especially from the security standpoint and the ability to segregate traffic.
So speaking of the security standpoint, what certifications does this switch have? I know not all those are security. Some of them are environmental. But
Yeah.
what are all the certifications on this?
So from a
device?
security standpoint, it doesn't have any testing certificates to go with that, but it has a broad range of security features, including everything's encrypted, multi-level user access, so it's not just
An admin
operator
or
and
nothing?
admin, right.
Gotcha.
From the regulatory standpoint, it's FCC, CE, UKCA, which is the CE for the UK.
Sure.
It has UL, both ordinary locations and hazardous locations.
Perfect.
It has ATEX and ICEX.
Okay.
It has ABS for marine certification, also has rail certification.
Perfect. So I can use it in most industries. It's
Most
going to be
industries,
very hard to find an industry
Yeah.
that it doesn't have a
That's right.
certification for. So yeah, I mean, again, that's the way to go. We got everything we could possibly want for that. What unique feature about this switch would make me want to use the NT5000 over maybe the 7000 or 700 series from N-Tron as well? I mean, why would I switch to this switch?
Well,
instead of-
they're all very robust. I think, as people are using more vision systems, as IoT plays a role in getting more traffic on the network, the gigabit performance of it
Okay.
is going to be nice. The 700, 7000 supports some gig capability, but every one of the copper ports on the NT5000 is 10, 100, 1000
okay.
speed.
Okay.
And we offer models with SFP slots that can support either fast Ethernet or gig fiber, as well as 10, 100, 1000 copper
Okay,
SFPs.
okay.
And then we have fixed fiber in both fast Ethernet and gigabit models. So I think
Perfect.
performance, ease of use, and size. It's
Oh,
a very,
size. Is
it's
it
a very compact, small
smaller
form
device?
factor. Absolutely.
There you go.
Yeah.
More efficient in my panel, which is
Yeah,
always nice.
absolutely.
You're always at a premium in there, so smaller size footprint is always nice. Perfect. So, any closing remarks? Anything you want to tell anybody about the NT5000 that we haven't talked about?
I encourage people to take a look. The ease of use features are really designed to let people focus on what their core business is, not on network configuration.
And there are a lot of videos out there on Red Lion's website that talk about what it does.
Absolutely,
right?
and it goes
Perfect.
feature by feature. So
So
5-minute
check
videos.
those out below.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they'll let us figure out what we can do with that other than what we've talked about today. Perfect.
Great.
Well, thank you for being here. We appreciate your time.
Thanks, Mark. Thank you for having me here.
Absolutely. See you all in the next one.